Live from New York and Hadoop World. This is Barton George with Nosh Petigara. Nosh, how are you?
Hi, how's it going, Barton?
Going well. So you were at MongoDB. Can you give folks who may not have heard of Mongo just a little bit quick definition?
Sure. I work for 10gen, which is the company behind MongoDB, and MongoDB is an open source, non-relational, document-oriented database.
So it would be in the no SQL or NoSQL space,
yes.
Right? And how do you define NoSQL?
For me, NoSQL is a collection of non-relational databases. I think the commonality is they don't use a relational model for modeling your data, but they use other types of things, and these could be columnar or document like Mongo or graph-like methods to model your data, and generally the query interface to those is not based on SQL, and hence the NoSQL terminology.
And although you guys have a Valley presence, I just learned you guys are based here.
Yep, the company started in New York. We have a large presence in New York and a large presence in the Bay Area as well.
And so what number employee are you?
Number 7, I believe.
7?
6 or 7.
Oh, very cool. And
yeah.
So what do you do for them?
I'm the director of product strategy, and as of now I'm focusing on building up alliances and partnerships with 10gen.
Okay. And so now, what are some of the areas that Mongo is best at? What are some of the use cases?
It's great for building almost any type of web application, whether that's a consumer web application or a software as a service B2B application. The things that are great about Mongo is that it's really easy to use. It's very easy to model your data in documents or objects which are similar to what you might model them in your application. So if you're using Java, your Java objects translate very easily into JSON documents that can then go into MongoDB. So that makes it really easy from a developer's perspective. The database is schema-less, so as your schema changes, the database adapts to it. Additionally, it deals very well with large amounts of data, and whether it's structured or semi-structured or unstructured, Mongo can handle that. And it's a great fit for cloud computing or commodity hardware or virtualized hardware, because you can scale out MongoDB horizontally among multiple machines.
And then speaking of use cases, who are some of the people that customers you can talk about that are using it, and just a little bit about what they're doing with it?
Yep, sure. So Foursquare is a large user of MongoDB. They have a location-based mobile application that allows you to check in and get recommendations on places. They use MongoDB for almost all of their data storage needs. So, for example, whenever you check in, those check-ins are recorded in real time. They give you badges based on where you've been, and those queries all happen from data that's in MongoDB. Disney is another large user. Disney uses MongoDB as a data store and as a platform to store data for all their online games across Disney. And MTV Stores uses MongoDB as their system of record for their content management system, which drives all of MTV Network's websites.
Cool. And now, how would you guys work with Hadoop?
So Hadoop and Mongo are very complementary technologies. If you sort of look at the database market, in the 80s you had two choices to store your data, either in a relational database or in a flat file. In the 90s, you had the data warehousing and OLAP space break out of that, and that's where Hadoop's having a great impact in allowing people to analyze and batch process large amounts of data. MongoDB sits, on the other hand, in the NoSQL space, and that is essentially databases that are non-relational but are meant for lots of concurrent users, large amounts of data, but concurrent updates, reads, writes, and things like that. So really, where you might have had a LAMP stack about 10 years ago with MySQL, you're probably going to be looking to use Mongo today.
Cool. And then last but not least, what should we expect for Mongo in the next year? What are the big features that are coming, or something you're excited about?
So there are a few things that I'm particularly excited about coming up in the next few months. Is our new aggregation framework. And this will give users a much quicker and faster way to do batch aggregations or batch jobs on data in MongoDB. So say you're capturing a lot of data, say for example in the Foursquare case on check-ins, you can now, with our new aggregation framework, be able to analyze that in a really rapid way. And that's one feature that's very interesting to me. The other one is full text search, which is coming up probably a little later on, and that will essentially give you full text search capability on the database, which is great because MongoDB is a great repository for content, and we see a lot of use cases in content management, and adding that search capability will allow you to do everything in MongoDB rather than pass data from system to system.
Excellent. Nosh, well, thank you so much. I look forward to seeing these new developments.
Yep, thanks a lot.